Hi everyone, it's Margaret Manning here with 60 and Me. Thanks so much for being here. I hope that you're doing great today. I hope that you're doing something wonderful for yourself, that you're feeling strong and positive and confident. And whether you're alone or with friends or family or just out and about, just that you're taking care of yourself and feeling good about being in your 60s and 70s and older. Now, I'm drinking my cup of tea this morning. I've got verbena. It's apparently a good drink for your digestion. So I'm drinking verbena tea, and hopefully you've got something wonderful to share and drink too. So cheers. Now, the topic today is going to be one that I guarantee everybody has experienced once in their life. And it's going to be a kind of a fresh look at this topic. And so stay with me here. But I wanted to mention that our sponsor for today's show is International Living. Now, International Living is focused on helping people retire overseas. So if you're thinking about moving to Mexico, Central America, South America, Asia, or even Europe, they have got people on the ground in these places finding answers to questions that you might have, the real questions that matter when you're thinking about retiring cheaply, affordably, and comfortably and safely overseas. So check out their website, internationalliving.com/60andme, and they'll send you their latest report. You just have to send your email, and there's no charge. It's just free, complimentary, and you can learn more about retiring overseas. Okay, now this is the topic. Are you by yourself? Do you live alone? I think a lot of women in our community do. When we've asked this question in the past, a lot of women have said they love it. They're happy living alone. It's what they've always wanted. They love their own company. Everything is fine. And a lot of people, including myself, live alone and find it most of the time to be okay. But everybody, I guarantee, feels a little bit alone and lonely sometimes. Big difference between alone and lonely, but it's kind of something that happens to us maybe at certain anniversaries, or when we realize that we haven't got the same context for meaning that we had when our children were perhaps at home, or close friends because of work environments. It's really a big adjustment, and aging is challenging and profound. But if you're living alone and you sometimes feel lonely to the point that you feel troubled by it, then this is a topic for you, because I really want to give you some tips for dealing with loneliness after 60, and they're unique. I think the uniqueness of our loneliness requires some different thinking. So, first of all, dealing with loneliness is possible. As I said, being alone is not the end of the world, and people really do enjoy it. But there's this thing called perfectly hidden depression. Margaret Rutherford, one of the people I've interviewed, talked about this. It's where, you're feeling depressed about being lonely, but you hide it. And you hide it so well that nobody would know. And this is the most dangerous one, because sometimes we sink so deep into that loneliness and depression that we just lose interest. We don't want to go out. We just don't want to join any social activities. We just want to be by ourselves. Now, again, there's a difference between wanting to be alone, loving it, doing all those great things you love to do, and that feeling that you just can't go out, that you can't move, that you're feeling just so by yourself. And I know I'm talking to a lot of people right now that feel that. And, my heart goes out to you, because I must admit, I go through that myself. And, it's never often not to the point that you would need help or feel worried, but it's there, it's niggly, it's in your life. So you lack the motivation to go out. And of course, there are other usually or often other things overlaid with this. So for example, your financial issues. You may be on such a budget that you can't afford to go out too much, or you are not being very sort of creative in your way of thinking about how to get out there. You may have lost someone that was really dear to you. You may have lost a partner, your husband, or someone that you knew very well, or a friend. Those are the kinds of things that can drive loneliness, because you might have been used to hanging out with them all the time, doing things together, especially in marriage. I mean, that's a very, very hard one. And I know I'm probably talking to lots of women right now in our community who are dealing with a loss of a husband. And that's very, very sad and challenging. And my heart goes out to you. But the first thing to do, first piece of advice, first tip, is to get real about it. Find in your heart what is causing the loneliness. Now, if it's a loss of a person, that's going to take some time. If it's just simply that you don't like the way you look, or you don't like the way that you're changing as you age, or that you don't have enough money to go out and do the things that you think you should be doing at this time of your life, that's when I think you have to kind of have a heart to heart with yourself. Identify what it is that's making you feel lonely. Is it that you're living in a place where you can't make any friends? Is it because you're estranged from your children? Maybe you're not able to see your grandkids. Perhaps there's personal issues. Maybe you've got medical concerns. I mean, these are all things that can lead to a depression around loneliness. And so it's important that you get real with yourself and try to stop worrying and, try to identify what it is, and then you can address it. The next tip is to get out into the world. And I know I've said this many times because it's what I do. It's the way that I deal with my occasional loneliness. I get out into the world. I go out to a town or city that's nearby. I live in a fairly small place right now, so I go out to a city or town where there's people, or activity, where there's noise, where there's, unpredictable things going on. And I just watch people. And sometimes I make a point of watching people who are alone. Because that's the other thing. You're not alone in the big scheme of things. You're not the only one feeling sad or lonely or by yourself. Go and do something that gets your mind and your body active. Just jump on a bus, or if you drive, get in your car, go to the next town, have a cup of tea at the little cafe that you've not been in. Try something new. Go to the gym, go to an activity. There's all kinds of things going on, or join a meetup group. But it's getting out into the world. That's important. And nature too. Nature is super important. Get interesting. Not interested, but get interesting. Make yourself interesting. You're a fascinating person. Think about all the things that you have done in your life that were cool. Places you've been, things you've done. We put ourselves down sometimes and say we didn't do anything interesting. Oh, my life's been so boring, but it hasn't. And I remember reading a poster once that said something like, don't be afraid of getting old, be afraid of getting boring. Because if your life is boring, or you're finding yourself bored with the world around you, like you're not interested at all, it's probably because you've lost some connection to your own character that's exciting and interesting and dynamic and not boring. But it's an opportunity this is a time of your life when it's an opportunity to do some things that you really love. Get out there and do activities that you always wanted to. Try something new. Try painting. Coloring, if you don't know how to paint, do adult coloring. Start a craft project, make jewelry, paint, draw, knit. There's all kinds of bridge. You can play games, and then you're going to find groups out there. Not everybody's going to be your cup of tea, but everybody will be trying, like you are, to make a connection around like-minded people. Knitting clubs are great, crochet, anything that you do with your hands. Go to meetup.com if you have a computer there. And that's another thing. Go online. So it's fun. I mean, there's stuff to do online. There's games, there's yoga videos like ours that we have on YouTube. There's YouTube. Just do things that connect you to like-minded people. I think that's super important. Other thing, get healthy. Do something good for your health. Eat good food. Try not to nibble on the sweets and the sugars and the things that are going to make you feel bad about yourself. Like if you don't want to be gaining a lot of weight, you nibble the chocolate all the time. And by the way, I'm not judging. I do this. I do it myself all the time. I'm just trying to give you some tips here for loneliness that take you from the sadness and depression to an appreciation of your situation. And have some gratitude. So Mother Nature can help you with wonderful foods. And finally, and maybe this is the most important thing at the very beginning, is to try to stay positive. If you've lived 65 years on this planet, you've done well. Yes, you're maybe going through a patch right now where you're by yourself or you're feeling a little bit lonely. Social isolation is a big deal. It's going to affect your health. It's going to affect the way that you age. It's going to affect the way you feel about life, the happiness quotient that you bring into your world. So please try those things. These are some tips. Get real, get interesting, get healthy, and get positive. And hopefully through that, you'll start to feel like, there's some light out there. And if you don't, at the end of all of this, get some help. Please. Get some help. There are people that can help you. But right now we've got a sisterhood here, that 60andMe, of women who are pretty much going through what you're going through. So feel free to reach out and join us, tell a friend, make it a tribe, make it a bigger tribe than the one you've got right now. Okay, well, take care, everybody. Have a super day. Go do something positive for yourself. Get out of the house. If you're feeling a little bit low, go merge with the world. Take care of yourselves. Have a wonderful day, and we'll talk soon. Bye for now.